Well, good morning, WBOK family. It's great to be back.
Well,
and thank you.
Happy to have you with us. And, man, there's a lot of stuff going on in the news, locally, statewide, nationally, and internationally as well. So we got a lot to talk about today, and we've got a lot ahead. And, of course, if it's Thursday, it means it's Congressman Troy Carter Day.
That's right.
So,
yes, sir.
We're looking forward to conversation with Congressman Troy Carter today. Of course, any day in recent days, you got to talk about Venezuela. And conversation with Troy Carter 2 days ago would have been different than conversation with Troy Carter 1 day ago, and definitely going to be different today.
Oh, yes.
Because there are developments each and every day with Venezuela. And what are we doing?
What are we doing, and who's in control? What is the plan? There are a lot of questions that need to be asked, and I hope he has some answers for us today, too.
Well, I heard a fascinating interview with a local in Caracas, who's very knowledgeable about government politics and his city, his nation, and he said that he knows quite a number of people who were ecstatic to hear about what happened in the removal of the president. For the first hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, until they heard more about what was happening. So they knew later that the president and his wife had been whisked off to face charges. And they then learned that that was it. And they were like, well, wait a minute. So you did all this, and you took a president, and you left everybody else?
Yes.
So their response was joy to what? From his perspective, it went from joy to what? Because structurally, systematically, in his eyes, nothing's changed. Except the U.S., quote unquote, running the country. So.
Wow. That's serious.
Yeah. So
yes.
we'll get our congressman who's following us every day, and he'll give us an update about that today. We'll also talk with him about an anniversary that will be with us forever. When you say January 6th in places other than New Orleans, it means something different these days because that's the anniversary of another anniversary of the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol that was outrageous. And so we'll hear from the congressman about that as well. So you definitely want to stay tuned for that. And we'll also have Greg LaRose, who is the editor of the Louisiana Illuminator. And previously I have told you all about the Louisiana Illuminator. It's a nonprofit news organization, and you can look it up just like anybody else and read their content. It's not a subscriber system.
Yes.
and they do great work, especially covering state government. And I always suggest that people have a diversity of news diet.
Yes.
Diversity of news diet.
Yes.
And I'm very happy that you all tune into the WBOK Good Morning Show as a part of that. But here at the Good Morning Show, I like to make sure that you hear from other people, hear other perspectives, even folks who might disagree with me, to hear some things. So I asked Greg to come on and talk with us about something that he wrote, looking back at 2025,
Yes.
and some
Yes.
things that maybe we don't remember or things we might have
You
missed.
may have forgotten. That's right.
Things we might have missed.
Yes.
So Greg is going to be with us this morning as well. Meanwhile, there have been quite a number of things developing in the news locally, and that includes that there are yet more city workers who are being laid off. We've got a major budget problem, a major deficit problem, and that is taking its toll on some people. I think it's about 38 more people who were notified this week, Tuesday, that their jobs are gone now.
That's right.
Their jobs are gone. So you come through the holidays, joyful times, looking forward to the new year.
Maybe
And-
overspent
Yeah.
during the Christmas season.
Yeah. And then boom,
That's right.
for 2026, no job.
That's right. Wow.
But let's be clear, this kind of thing happens with the beginning of new administrations,
Yes.
whether it is a local government here in New Orleans or Baton Rouge or Slidell or someplace else, or state government or the White House.
Yes.
That kind of thing. And then
Yes.
even a congressional office, there's sometimes a person or two might be held over, but there are a lot of times it's like, well, I need my people here.
It's part of the transition.
It's part of
That's
the
right.
transition. So look, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll be talking more about some things that you might want to know. And as we take that break, just want to remind you all, kids went back to school on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And so I need you to watch out for the kiddos. Help the babies get to school. We don't need
Yes.
anybody hurt or injured. We need you to be careful around those schools. Pay attention to the officers, the patrol folks with the vests and the flags, and pay attention and slow down.
Oh, yes.
Get on your way. It's 7-Eleven, and the talk line is 504-582-9422. 504-582-9422. This is the Good Morning Show on WBOK, 12:30 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about
All day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon
Good
and
Thursday
4
morning.
p.m.
I'm Daryl Forges with WDSU News, and here's your headlines. Happening today, the future of the Leah Chase School is on the line, as the school board is set to meet to decide the fate of the school. The school, located on Carrollton, is the school board's only directly run school. It's facing possible closure amid concerns of low enrollment and budget deficits. The school board is holding a special meeting today at 5:30. New Orleans police officers will get a $10,000 bonus owed to them. State Auditor Mike Wagasback says officers will get bonus checks by the end of next week. He says he's working with the council to find out exactly how much money is needed. The bonuses were promised to hundreds of officers back in 2022 under Mayor LaToya Cantrell's administration. A New Orleans police officer is waking up behind bars this morning. NOPD says Adam Zoller's arrest was triggered by the Public Integrity Bureau. NOPD says he's facing stalking and unlawful communications charges. As flu season and flu spikes across our viewing area, we've learned a child has died here in Louisiana this flu season. That's according to the Louisiana Department of Health. The latest CDC update shows Louisiana is now one of 20 states in the highest category for patients hospitalized with flu symptoms. The CDC reports at least 120,000 hospitalizations have happened so far. I'm Daryl Forges, and that's your headlines for WBOK. Have a great day.
Hey WBOK family, Conversations with Ron Richardson is back this Saturday live from 9 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here on WBOK 1230 a.m. streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com with special guest Pastor Ricardo Ayat from the New Nation Movement Ministry. He will be joining me to talk about mental health from a spiritual perspective. Please tune in and thanks for your continued love and support. And remember, healing and recovery start with you.
Good morning, wake up.
The Good Morning Show.
Good morning.
On WBOK.
Good morning, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show right here on WBOK. I'm Will Sutton, and then with me is Daryl G. Brown. Thank you so much for coming back, my friend.
Good morning, sir. It's good to have you. Good to be back in the studio with you and the WBOK family.
How'd you do with the foggy weather that's out there?
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. Matter of fact, it was very light, so I had no problems coming in. And the traffic wasn't bad either.
Yeah, well, I just want to make sure people know, if you haven't looked at the weather and if you haven't looked outdoors, it's not a bright, sunny day. So there is some sun shining through the clouds, but there is fog and some low-hanging fog. So it's, I think I'd characterize it as patchy.
Yeah, I think so.
Patchy,
That's great.
So be careful as you go out and prepare for your day. If you got somewhere to be at 7:15, it's 7:16, so you're late. So, but if you got somewhere to be for 7:30, you might make it on time, depending on where you are with the status of getting your things together. One of the interesting and sad things that happened yesterday, this was announced last night, so it's not breaking news this morning, but a number of you all may have missed this. But the New Orleans Police Department is to keep us safe. And we rely on them to have the best of the best on duty, and that they are trained, and that they are knowledgeable about the rights and the wrongs, and that they are aware of what's right and wrong for all of us by law,
Yes.
and what's right and wrong for a police officer. Unfortunately, there's an investigation that was announced by the NOPD last night. The Public Integrity Bureau arrested New Orleans police officer Adam Zoller, Zoelle, on counts of stalking and unlawful communications.
Yes, yes.
Did anyone die? Looks like nobody died.
No.
Did anybody get physically injured? We don't know. Is there a definitive something that Adam Zoller did something wrong? No. But the police department, which does investigations, and the Police Integrity Bureau, which does very specific officer investigations, are not in the business of arresting anybody unless they find enough evidence to really think that something has gone wrong. So the stalking law, in the context of this, I'm not going to read the entire law. So let me be clear.
Yes.
It's not like there aren't other elements to the stalking law, but I did want to read it because the report just announced last night says that this guy was arrested on counts of stalking and unlawful communications. But stalking, according to our state law, is the intentional and repeated following or harassing of another person that would cause a reasonable person to feel alarmed or to suffer emotional distress. Stalking shall include, but not be limited to, the intentional and repeated uninvited presence of the perpetrator at another person's home, workplace, school, or any place which would cause a reasonable person to be alarmed or to suffer emotional distress as a result of verbal, written, or behaviorally implied threats of death, bodily injury, sexual assault, kidnapping, or any other statutory criminal act to himself or any member of his family or a person with whom he is acquainted. All right, so
Yes.
I mean that's the law. So under our law, you don't stalk somebody you don't know or know something about.
That's right. That's right. And something else is stalking, as bad as it is on its own, is even worse when it's done by a police officer. Who do you call when the police itself is the one doing the perpetrating? So I'm glad the investigation is ongoing, and maybe we'll follow it. I'll say that we'll follow it.
Yeah, yep. Well, it's a most unfortunate situation. Glad to see that the police department is taking this seriously, and in the case of the law for unlawful communications, we don't want to read all of the law again, and that was not all of the stalking law, but we can read
Yes.
part of the unlawful communications law, if you don't mind, Brother Darrell, to give them a
Yes, sir.
graph or so.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. It's to engage in or institute a telephone call, telephone conversation, or telephone conference with another person, or use of telecommunications device to send any text message or other message to another person directly, anonymously, or otherwise, and therein use obscene, profane, vulgar, lewd, or lascivious language, or make any suggestion or proposal of an obscene nature, or threaten any illegal or immoral act with the intent to coerce, intimidate, or harass any person.
Well, I see this as a good thing that the New Orleans police are not just policing we citizens, but policing the officers.
Yes.
I don't want anybody on our force. It's a tough job to have any challenges or difficulties. But if somebody's doing something they shouldn't be doing, we don't want that in our home, in our block, in our neighborhood, on our street, and we certainly don't want it on the police force. So we'll be
That's
looking for a follow-up on that, and we'll get to that momentarily. We're going to be taking a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have none other than Congressman Troy Carter. If it's Thursday on the Good Morning Show at WBOK 1230 a.m., it's Troy Carter Day. So we'll be talking with the Congressman right after the break. If you want to call in, the number is 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. This is WBOK 1230 a.m., what New Orleans is talking about
All day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Patchy fog and warm temperatures will continue. We'll see partly to mostly cloudy skies for today. Highs in the upper 70s to lower 80s for us, and then another warm night up ahead. Looking at the lows in the 60s, and then for Friday, another warm one, upper 70s, low 80s, but chances for showers and thunderstorms in the forecast. Some of those could even be on the severe side as we head into our Saturday. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Richard.
Norman Robinson is back.
Can you hear me now?
And he's taking no prisoners.
Can you hear me now?
Each weekday, Norman Robinson brings you commentary with Off the Top.
The incident was shocking, disturbing, disgusting, disappointing, and sad.
Each weekday, Off the Top with Norman Robinson is heard exclusively right here.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 a.m.
Good morning, wake up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Welcome back to the Good Morning Show, and welcome to the Good Morning Show. If you are just tuning in, you missed some good conversation about some things going on. Brief conversation about Venezuela as we were warming up to talk to our congressman today, and the unfortunate arrest of a New Orleans police officer for stalking and unlawful communications. But we got a number of other things that we'll have coming up, including a conversation with Greg LaRose of the Louisiana Illuminator. We got a big decision coming up tonight with the Leah Chase School. And if you've ever wondered who in the city of New Orleans who works for the city has a car, we can tell you. We can tell you. So that's coming up on the show, on the Good Morning Show as well. So go ahead and jot down some names because we might be able to tell you something
Yes.
about who has a car. All right. So let's go to the line and talk with our Congressman, Troy Carter. Good morning, Congressman. You're on with Will Sutton and Minister Darrell Brown.
Good morning, Congressman.
Hey, Mr. Brown.
Yes,
how are
sir.
you? How are you, Will? Good to be back with you guys. Seems like it's been a minute.
It has.
Welcome to 2026. Good riddance to 2025. Let's make this a great year.
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
I'm looking forward to it. It's no exaggeration to say that in New Orleans, 2025 started with an unfortunate bang. and we lost so many lives on the very first day. And we had a number of crazy events, a snowstorm that was real snow, not just sleet, and so many other things, including a budget deficit. But meanwhile, there are a number of things happening nationally that we know you love home, but you're elected to represent us and stay attuned to these issues. And one of those things that has started off this new year that seems crazy is Venezuela. So we've seen our president poking at them with the boats offshore and talking bad about their president and their nation, and then more recently oil. And then now something big has happened. And give us your update from the perspective that you have from Congress.
Well, the whole series of events are very unfortunate. But before I delve into the unconstitutional parts, let's begin by acknowledging that the illegitimate leadership of Maduro is unquestioned. The illegitimate and evil actions against the Venezuelan people is clear. No one is supporting or suggesting that Maduro is anything but a despot, a dictator, an evil leader. But that does not give America the right to unilaterally strike a sovereign nation without a declaration of war, which only the United States Constitution grants that power to Congress. So the notion that the president can just unilaterally ignore Congress, can unilaterally ignore checks and balances, unilaterally be an all-powerful dictator himself is something that, listen, we have to be strong enough to stare down the bully. And I have not been shy in my commentary, in my comments, in my actions to call the president out and say, Mr. President, you do not have the power to do what you're doing. Plain, simple, full stop. And I am imploring my other colleagues to join me in having a backbone to stop this attempt to completely ruin our democracy, ruin our state on a national and international playing field, to somehow suggest that when the president wants something, he can just take it. Venezuela, Greenland, Panama Canal, what's next? There is a process. There is a rule of law. There's an international rule of law. So the notion that this president can just determine that he's going to be judge, jury, and executioner is not the rules of engagement that America operates on. America is a superpower because we have allies, because we work for democracy across the world, because we provide foreign aid and assist those in need. This president wants to get rid of foreign aid. This president wants to distance himself from NATO. This president wants to ignore the alignment of NATO, for which Denmark is a part of. So if there was some military action against Greenland, we'd be fighting NATO. And if you saw Stephen Miller, who's one of his chief minions, on the news the other night, he says, who's going to fight against us to go and take Greenland? Suggesting that no one's even going to challenge them. Well, it just doesn't work that way, Mr. Schoolyard Bully. It just doesn't work that way. And I will continue being a fighting voice and action against this president, anybody else who attempts to flip our democracy on its head, take away the rights of American citizens, as we see happening every single day in the first year. Hard to believe. It's only been a year, the first year of the Trump administration.
Pretty incredible. Darrell?
I have a question for you, Congressman.
Yes, sir.
I applaud you for what you're doing and for keeping us informed. But my question for you is, what is your relationship with the other leaders, political leaders from Louisiana? John Kennedy, Senator John Kennedy, Bill Cassidy. And you said something else, and also Speaker Johnson and Scalise as well. What is your relationship with them? And now we see how they are in Trump's pocket. But you said something that Trump himself is acting like a dictator also. But why? Why is Congress, why are your colleagues allowing Trump to operate in such a way?
I'll answer your last question first. I think they are allowing him because they are afraid of him.
Wow.
Because you cannot call yourself a learned scholar, particularly of the Constitution, and allow these overt, clear violations of the Constitution to exist. You cannot, not in private, as many say, they recognize that he's way above the bound, but they won't say it when the lights come on. And I think it's more than just having them challenged at re-election. I think there's some kind of, Minister, I can't put my finger on why another individual, another adult would be so afraid of another adult. This is just beyond words, because I will tell you, and I think you'll agree, and all of our listeners as well, if Barack Obama or Joe Biden or Bill Clinton or Jimmy Carter had done even one of the things that this guy had done, they would have come unglued. If Barack Obama or Joe Biden had unilaterally bombed Venezuela, they'd be calling for his head. If Barack Obama or Joe Biden was in any way associated with the Epstein files, they would be putting an eviction notice on the White House. But they seem to go blind when it comes to the issues of this president who has told more lies, not my words, documented. This is not just commentary. These are facts. Told more lies, crossed more lines, has been convicted of heinous crimes, and yet still serves. Makes racist, xenophobic, homophobic comments nearly daily, multiple times a day, and gets away with it. And they wanted to run Barack Obama out of town because he wore a beige suit.
Congressman.
Give me a break. Wait, I want to get to the first part of the question real quickly.
Okay.
So the question you asked about our relationship, listen, we could not be further apart philosophically. We could not be further apart philosophically, Minister. The things that I talk about publicly, I talk about privately, I talk about it with members, I talk about it from the House floor, I talk about it from the committee. My position is not, they don't have to guess or wonder where Troy Carter stands. It's very clear, because I speak it 24/7 to as many people who listen, and even when they don't want to listen. So the relationship is that of, we're cordial. We have relationships, but we could not be more different in our philosophical views. On a social or personal level, we're fine. We're not running around like flipping each other off or cussing each other out, but we could not be more opposite as it relates to what's good, what's best in the decency of our democracy or the American people, in this case, even the Louisiana people.
Okay, Congressman, want to get to a call, but before we do that, where do we stand at this point with the United States of America running Venezuela? We had the president say that we're going to run it. We had Marco Rubio backing away from that, saying, well, actually, we're going to partner, cooperate, coerce the people who are there. But I heard an interview just today with a guy on the ground in Caracas, a journalist actually, so somebody who's followed this on a regular basis, and he was talking about how they were so ecstatic about the removal of the president. But then they realized that was the only person removed from his or her job, and they're disappointed that there's not more significant change. So back to your first point, that nobody's saying he was a good guy. But if he's not a good guy and he had other not good guys and women working with him, why weren't there more changes? And how does that improve anything for the United States to take the one and leave what many see as a corrupt government still in place?
Because he pissed off Donald J. Trump. Because Maduro danced and laughed at Trump. The only person that's been taken out of power from the regime is Maduro. His number two, his number three, the entire regime is still in place. So the people of Venezuela are not in any better position today than they were before Maduro was captured. The entire regime is still in place. That means the corruption is still there. The so-called drug trade that the president has suggested they were really going after, when in fact we believe it's probably more like oil, power, and vengeance. All those things are still in place. And the notion that America is going to run the country, when in fact there was a duly elected president before the ouster, seems unnatural that you would just turn it over to the person who was duly elected, except that person received the Nobel Peace Prize and didn't give it to him. You see, this is all it's laughable. It really is laughable. And you can't make this stuff up, but it's all so very petty, and it's so very un-American, and it's so very dangerous. This is not some sitcom. This is America. This is people's lives. This is our governance. You know, we are the leader, and when we color outside the lines, when we ignore the rule of law, what does that say to the other rogue countries? We're not some third world rogue country, but guess what we're looking like? We're looking like Russia and China.
Okay.
Yes.
Two people that Trump, in his own words, has said he admires.
All right. Congressman, we got a call. Good morning, Reverend Calhoun. You're on with Will Sutton, Darrell Brown, and, of course, Congressman Troy Carter. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Doc, I'm trying to figure out the Jack play. He's now saying that he's going to control the oil, or he's going to commandeer oil tankers, and then he's going to be the ultimate authority on how those monies are spent. I also like to know how then does he then control the budget of the military such that he can spend this money, the money that was spent to take over Venezuela, the money that he's using to send these troops into the different cities. Congress don't have no voice in any type of way to challenge the monies that's being spent to do what these things that he's getting done. I mean, like I say, I didn't understand his statement when he says that he's going to take the oil money, and then after they make a profit off it, he's going to spend that money. He's going to control that money. So in my opinion, he's not even including Congress in making any decisions about what budget or any other thing that's coming out. I'm interested in trying to hear, Troy, exactly what can Congress do to limit the power that Donald Trump has, or that he's using, illegally, legally or not, to like I said, the Jack play. He just taking people's stuff, and then he said, I'm going to take it and use it like I want it. Al Capone ain't got nothing on this boy. All right, I'll hang up and listen.
Reverend Calhoun, as always, I appreciate your commentary and your thoughtful approach to this, and you're correct. Congress can. Congress must. Congress has the authority. But our counterparts on the other side are allowing him to ignore Congress. As we often talk about, the elections having consequences. When we don't turn out, we lose votes. we have fewer Democrats in Congress than we do Republicans. Republicans, by and large, overwhelmingly appear to have been hoodwinked by President Trump. And as a result of that, they have given him free rein to ignore the separate but co-equal branches of government, Congress being one. And therefore, he's comfortable, as you may have seen in a recent press conference where he stood next to Speaker Mike Johnson and said, and I quote, "I am President and Speaker of the House."
Wow.
How about that? I remember that.
Now, man, if that doesn't cut your knees right off of you, if that just doesn't say you're insignificant, I own you, just stand here like my puppet, man, that's gotta.
And here's a guess, Congressman. But if you were in a similar situation with the President of the United States on live television and streaming with a gaggle of journalists, and if he said, "I am the President of the United States and I represent the people in the congressional district I operate as a congressman," I'm guessing you would have said, "Excuse me."
I'm from the cutoff, bro.
Yeah, right. Oh, boy.
Look, I assure you I would have handled it differently than he did.
Yeah. So, look, staying on Venezuela, and then let's be sure that we get to January 6th and maybe ACA as well. One of the things that I want to note for our WBOK listening audience is so much of this is about oil. And want to get your take on the impact of what we've done in the United States in particular and the Western Hemisphere. For those who may know or may not know, Venezuela has the largest amount of crude oil reserves in the world.
Wow.
They've got 303 billion barrels. And the United States, as big and wealthy as we are, we have 74 billion. 74 billion.
Wow.
More than 300 billion.
Yes.
That's a huge amount of oil reserve. So in the context of oil and business and economies, Congressman, what we've done, how is that likely to affect us here in the United States and countries in the Western Hemisphere?
Well, ironically, with the huge numbers as you've accurately presented, economists and those in this space, those experts, if you will, have suggested that it will show very little at the gas pump to prices of fuel for the American consumer. It is uncertain as to how it will impact oil prices. There's a tremendous expense to be able to process that oil and get it from its point of origin to a point of sale outside of those that are already moved. So it's yet to be determined what kind of a boom this is going to be, if any. We know that it's a power grab. We know that it is a massive, as Reverend Calhoun said, as we said as kids growing up, it's a jacking. I mean, you've essentially jacked these people of their precious minerals, their mineral rights. Notwithstanding, listen again, forget Maduro. He's a bad guy. Lock him up for the rest of his life. We're talking about attacking a sovereign nation and taking their resources. And for the president to say, I, singularly, am going to determine where this money goes, how the money is spent, those are words of a dictator. not a democracy, not someone who's going into a country that was run by an illegitimate leader and then establishing a stable government for and of the people of Venezuela. This president has eyes on annexing Venezuela. As he's talked about annexing
Go ahead.
Greenland, as he's talked about annexing Panama Canal, as he's talked about many other baubles, if you will, that he wants to collect on the shelf. When in the past, when presidents have gone into areas where we've had dictators and we've removed them, A, we've done it in concert with Congress, and B, we've done it in a way that we established a stable government and gave it back to the people, not removing one illegal, illegitimate, hateful leader, but leaving all of the others in place. The people of Venezuela are just as bad today, if not worse, than they were before Maduro's capture. So that brings you back to the point. What was this really about? Was it about Maduro, or was it about the oil? Was it about the power? Was it about the vengeance?
Okay, Congressman, we've got a couple of calls. Let's get to James. Good morning, James. You're on with Will Sutton, Darrell Brown, and Congressman Troy Carter.
Good morning. Good morning, Congressman. Good morning to all.
Good morning, sir.
Yep. I want to say, first off, kudos to what you're doing. Thank you for informing us and keeping us abreast. I don't think this is about oil. Like you said, Congressman, some oil execs have said on the news recently that they have no interest in going back into Venezuela. Like, they left there for a reason. So it don't serve them a purpose to spend money to recapture that brand of raw earth material. Setting up shop over there is probably a military play, but I think the whole action had nothing to do with oil. I think it's just, he said he sat it right there in the Oval Office and told everybody, "Oh, isn't that wonderful? If we have some type of military action or we go to war, I could stay in office forever. I could be the president till kingdom comes." And he knows that he is wanted, his family is unprotected, and the crimes that he has committed and atrocities he's committed, he's going to have to pay for them. He knows this. His family will be blackballed once this whole run is over. So I think his hope is to cause all this mayhem, confusion, kind of sell us out, because we actually are property. It's looking like we are property of Russia now. I happen to agree with, I think it was Carvel who said it. All this is a play to keep him out of jail, because impeachment is going to happen come the blue wave.
Okay.
And I'm going to hang up and listen. Thank you for taking my call.
All right. Thank you, James. Have a blessed day.
Thank you, James.
Well, Brother James, once again, you are clearly observing this, and I appreciate your view, and I think that there are a lot of moving parts. I think you're absolutely correct. I think the notion that his people have subscribed to the theory of shock and awe, flood the zone, keep you dizzy with weird, crazy stuff that they do, is a part of the plan to distract you from what's really happening, to take your mind off the Epstein files.
That's right.
To take your mind off the fact that they're literally ripping health care away from American people, that they're fighting to against us, who are trying to reinstate the ACA tax credits. They're taking away the fact that they have not passed any meaningful legislation. That this administration has been in office now for 1 year, and all they've done is sat on a crane with a wrecking ball. There is no meaningful. They passed this big, ugly law that is going to hurt Americans of every background, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Republican, Democrat, Independent. And guess what? They just don't care because Donald J. Trump sees people as dispensable. And it doesn't matter. There might as well be toy soldiers on the floor as you roll a marble and knock them down. It's a game. And we have to have the courage to stand up because history is going to reflect where were you when this maniacal wannabe dictator was in charge, and what did you do?
Okay.
And I'm telling you, there's going to be a whole bunch of people on the wrong side of history unless they change real fast.
Okay, we got another call, Congressman. Good morning, Ken. You're on with Will Sutton, Darrell G. Brown, and, of course, Congressman Troy Carter.
Good morning, Ken.
Good morning. Good morning, Congressman. Good morning, Darrell. And,
good morning, sir.
Of course, good morning, D. Will Sutton. Look, it is definitely by way of distraction, without a doubt. You know, I think the caller earlier who said it wasn't about oil. No, it's about oil because the heavy crude that they use in Venezuela can only be refined here on the coast of Louisiana, which I don't know that many people think much about that. But that is true. So Muppet Mike is not going to have much to say because this is money in the pocket. People need to understand that Donald Trump is about, quote, business. Business is all for me, none for you. The best in my pocket, the best for me, and the best for mine that's around me who are in with me. It's not about anything or anybody else. It's pretty clear. And currently, when you talk about the right side of history, Congressman, the secret police, ICE, are on the street, and this is the army that he is building. We just saw a lady shot and killed the other day by an ICE agent who the ICE agent has no right to interdict traffic or do anything of that nature like he was doing. And this is becoming the norm. They're normalizing evil, hate, prejudice, and anger and victimization more than anything to get people to follow them. This is the same playbook the Germans had. And the phallic head boy, Stephen Miller, he's out there leading the charge. And these poor folk out here who are getting their health care snatched, their food stamps snatched, and everything else snatched. Yeah, you're strong, Trump, you're strong. Because in their minds, this is what people should be doing. Now, you're quite correct. How's history going to judge you? Well, it's pretty simple. Dr. Wyatt said it best. Xi Jinping said it in the best way possible. You can look at what happened to Spain, what happened to France, what happened to Britain. In history, countries have about 200 years to 250 years in the sun. And then somebody does something really stupid, like this current occupant of of the White House currently. And that's what we're dealing with. With that said, Congressman, thank you for your service. Thank you for putting up the good fight. Keep leading the charge. And I'm going to sit back and listen to what you guys are saying.
All right. Have a blessed day, Ken.
Thank you, Ken.
All right. And thank you very much. You said a mouthful, brother, and I appreciate every word. Thank you very much. Listen, there are a lot of moving parts, and everyone is going to have an observation. All of the observations are valuable and important, and in varying degrees are correct. This is a moving tapestry. It's hard, unless you are inherently evil, to evaluate evil. So what we see happening in our country is so many moving parts, so many dynamics going on. All of it's around greed, power, and preservation. Rather, it is those who believe vehemently that the white race is going to become minorities, and they can't stand the idea of that ever being the case, so therefore they want to go after Jews, go after blacks, go after anyone who's different and other than what they deem to be white. Then you've got those who believe that if the poorer class continue to take money from the rich, they're going to eventually be poor too. There are so many sick, crazy notions out there, and unfortunately, this is not new. But they finally found a president that would let them have the keys to the wrecking ball. Every other president has run them away. And now they found a guy in Donald J. Trump who they know how to tickle his funny bone. They know how to make him laugh. They know how to flatter him. They know how to say nice things to make him like them. And when they get him laughing and smiling in his own ego massage, they run off with the keys to do great harm to our country. And that's why these venues and these forums like WBOK that gives us an opportunity to talk about things that mainstream media won't let us talk about, because people say, why aren't you saying it? We say it every day. They don't report it. And that's the value of media like this one, because we're going to have the opportunity to talk and to have it unedited and to be able to talk to you in ways that I would talk to you at the kitchen table, to inform you of what's really going on in the nation's capital, to let you know that we are fighting, but we're outnumbered, but we're not outvoiced.
Congressman,
I appreciate all the callers that call in. It is clear that you're paying attention and that you're well studied, and please infect the rest of our community. Get everyone to get engaged, get involved, get invested, because that's how we're gonna turn this thing around.
Congressman, we have less than a minute. I know you wanted to touch on the January 6th anniversary. I'm shutting up and I'm listening.
Yeah, so January 6th we celebrated, and I say celebrated with as much humility. We commemorated a very painful day in our country, a day that people died, a day that our democracy was attacked, literally, with thousands of angry mobsters attacking the Capitol, breaking windows, beating officers with Confederate flags, breaking windows, defiling federal offices, literally defecating on the desk of the Speaker of the House, threatening to kill the Vice President of the United States because he wouldn't follow out the directive of then President, now President Donald Trump, to not certify the election results.
Well,
yeah, it was real, and it was painful, and we watched it, and now we commemorate it happen, and then to turn around on top of all that, and for this president to pardon every single one of them, and to call them exuberant tourists.
Yeah.
And now to have a website up to suggest that Capitol Police and Nancy Pelosi orchestrated the whole thing. History has a way of repeating itself. Lies become true if they aren't checked. So in his mind, they're just going to keep telling the lie over and over again, and maybe people will forget what really happened, but we're never going to let the truth fade. We're never going to let them continue to act as if their illegal, immoral, unethical, evil actions are anything other than what they are. And we as a people have to continue to band together, love each other, work together, stop working against each other, and start recognizing that there is a major effort to set us back.
All right,
to set us back in our rights, to set us back in the constitutional rights that are given, and we have to stand against it. And we start by showing up at the voting booth.
Yeah, indeed. And we got a February 7th special election, and we'll be talking about that more and every day. Thank you so much for giving us some of your time. We know that you got a busy schedule, and we know that some of you in Congress are working on a strategy to deal with the war powers after this event, since we have somebody not paying attention to the law. You have a blessed day, Congressman. Look forward to seeing you around town. Will you be in town for the inauguration activities or no?
Yep, I'll be able to come in just for a few hours, and then I got to head right back to D.C., but I will be there.
All right, very good. All right, thanks, Congressman Carter. We appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
And folks, we are at 8:02 a.m. We got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about some more things, and we're going to take another call or two. And don't forget, we're going to be talking to Greg LaRose from the Louisiana Illuminator about some things we might have missed in 2025. So it's 8:02 a.m. This is WBOK 12:30 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about
all
the
day
time.
long.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat, brought to you by FidelityWealthManagement.com. The Magnificent Seven, led by NVIDIA, have been dominating conversations on Wall Street for a while now. But black-owned and led Ariel Investments is finding value flying under the radar with smaller companies. Here's Ariel Investments founder, chairman, and CEO, John Rogers.
We're still finding ideas in the small value space. You know, they really have been ignored. They're kind of the ugly ducklings when you compare it to NVIDIA and Apple and all these giant, exciting growth stories. You know, the little mundane businesses that we've invested in for 42 years just seem particularly orphaned these days. So we're seeing great ideas and excited to be doing the research. I think there's real opportunity for small value.
Ariel Investments, John Rogers speaking to Bloomberg there. The firm's flagship Ariel Fund focuses entirely on small and mid-cap stocks. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Good morning, sir, to you.
All right.
Amen.
All right. It is 8:06 a.m. You got somewhere to be at 8:15. You still got a bit of time if you are already on it and packed up and ready to go. If you got 10 minutes to get there, you got 9 now. So, all right. Make sure you got all the things that you need. What a great conversation with the congressman.
Awesome.
Very enlightening, informative, and quite a mess that we have going down. Pretty incredible that we have everybody in agreement that the guy needed to go because he was not really elected to be president.
Yes.
Stole the election. Everybody agreeing on that. But how it was done, when it was done, what was done, lots of different ideas about that. So let's take a call. Good morning, Brother Mims. You're on with Will Sutton and Darryl Brown.
Good morning, Brother Mims.
I'm not going to be long. I served in law enforcement. I served on the parole board with the late Kathleen Blanco. Man, this president looks. I never met Hitler, but reading everything, he reminds me. He wants to be the man. He wants to do everything, and if you don't agree with him, he want to eliminate you. This country What happened to democracy? What happened to Congress? I mean, he wants to be a dictator. He wants to. If you don't like him, his wife don't even like him. You know. What I'm saying is, and some of the people, and they know who I am. I lost friendships. Some of the brothers that look like me. I'm a black man. They voted for Trump. And now they're saying, "Hey man, don't tell me nothing. You did what you were stupid." And I'm saying this that I got a shirt I wear. I say you can't be stupid. This president is selfish. He don't care. It's all about him. And I just want the people to know that don't give up. God's got you. But we got to keep going and keep fighting, because let me tell you something, evil don't take no vacations. I thank you. Y'all have a great day.
You too.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother Mims. You add some great perspective to that, and we really appreciate that. Right now, of course, we have Greg LaRose coming on from the Louisiana Illuminator. He's going to talk about 2025s and some things that we might want to remember and might have missed. But we've got a big decision coming up tonight at the New Orleans School Board meeting on the future of the Leah Chase School. Big decision to be made. There are any number of things that the school board can do. But we're going to check in with Duke Chase. And good morning, Duke. You're on with Will Sutton and Darrell Brown.
Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning, and thank you both for having me.
Man, quite a road since the last school board meeting, and for recent weeks where the conversation was, we're in really bad financial shape, and some people saying maybe we made a mistake, and other folks saying, what are you doing? You started this. Why aren't you going to give it a fair shot? But there's been lots of community activity. I'm seeing signs all over the place. I'm seeing things on Facebook and other social media. You and your family have been active, even with some disagreements within the family has been quite active in talking about what's going on, and it looks like tonight might be the school board decision. What are you expecting? Tell us a little bit about what's been done since that last meeting.
Yeah, that's correct. And you know, over the last couple of weeks, maybe a month, the most exciting thing that I saw is that the community really brought education, as it should always be, in the focal point, right? The community stepped up and said education has to be the priority of any growing city. And you hear these conversations and passionate conversations, and now you see the community stepping in and say, we're going to wrap our arms around this school. We're going to ensure that those 350 plus students and more to come make sure they continue their successful education and grow, because those are the kids and the leaders and every other kid in our school system. We depend on them to grow our community and to grow our city. And that's what inspired me the most about this whole process. Getting out, not only talking to the family and the students and the teachers, but talking to everyone on both sides and ensuring that the only argument is securing successful education for our city. And this school is doing it. So tonight, I'm very optimistic about tonight's vote. And I'll share with families, yes, enroll your students at the Leah Chase School, because this school is being wrapped around by community who will not let you fail. We don't use that word fail. We never did in our family, because my grandmother always said, as long as you're moving forward, as long as you're progressing, you can never be failing. So the community is going to ensure that this school is always moving forward in terms of education. It is always progressing, and we want your kids to do the same.
Hey, Duke, we're going to have to take a break, but can you stay with us because I really want to continue this conversation. A few minutes is fine, better than nothing, but this is really, really important for this community. So I hope you can stay on just for a little bit after the break so we can talk about this a bit more. And again, folks, we're going to have the opportunity to talk with Greg LaRose from the Louisiana Illuminator in this hour. And yes, you'll be able to ask us a question about who has a city car. That's coming too. All right, hold on, folks. It's 8:13 a.m. This is WBOK, 12:30 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about
all day long.
WBOK New Orleans, home of the Good Morning Show, 7 to 9 a.m. weekdays.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Rapper YNW Melly was back in court Monday for his witness tampering case. He's also facing a double murder retrial next year after a 2023 mistrial. The defense says there's a big hole to fill.
We have a 3-month period alleged without any specific facts as to what the criminal gang-related activity that the state intends to prove would be.
Prosecutors say Melly killed 2 childhood friends in 2018 and staged it as a drive-by. The city of Decatur, Georgia has a new mayor. The city commission decided to select Black Commissioner Tony Powers for the position in place of Patty Garrett. And Central Florida lawmakers are backing the Crown Act to fight hair discrimination. At a meeting in Orange County, leaders including Congressman Maxwell Frost and State Senator LaVon Bracey Davis supported banning bias against natural styles like afros, braids, and twists. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Good Thursday morning. I'm Daryl Forges with WDSU News, and here's your headlines. Happening today, the future of the Leah Chase School is on the line, as the school board is set to meet to decide the fate of the school. The school, located on Carrollton, is the school board's only directly run school. It's facing possible closure amid concerns of low enrollment and budget deficits. The school board is holding a special meeting today at 5:30. New Orleans police officers will get a $10,000 bonus owed to them. State Auditor Mike Wagasback says officers will get bonus checks by the end of next week. He says he's working with the council to find out exactly how much money is needed. The bonuses were promised to hundreds of officers back in 2022 under Mayor LaToya Cantrell's administration. A New Orleans police officer is waking up behind bars this morning. NOPD says Adam Zoller's arrest was triggered by the Public Integrity Bureau. NOPD says he's facing stalking and unlawful communications charges. As flu season and flu spikes across our viewing area, we've learned a child has died here in Louisiana this flu season. That's according to the Louisiana Department of Health. The latest CDC update shows Louisiana is now one of 20 states in the highest category for patients hospitalized with flu symptoms. The CDC reports at least 120,000 hospitalizations have happened so far. I'm Daryl Forges, and that's your headlines for WBOK.
This is Monica Pierre along with Sally Ann Roberts Daybone, co-host of Your Power is On.
Tune in Sunday mornings from 7 to 8 a.m. for music that feeds the spirit. Get your Sunday on.
Right here on WBOK 1230 a.m. and WBOK1230.com, the station you listen to all day long.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
It is 8:17 a.m. This is the Good Morning Show on WBOK 1230 a.m. Look, right before the break, we were talking about the big likely decision tonight coming about the future of the Leah Chase School. We have Duke Chase on the line, and looks like we have Stella Chase Reese joining us. Good morning, Ms. Reese. It's Will Sutton and Darrell Brown. Good morning. Welcome to the Good Morning Show.
Good morning, Ms. Reese.
Good morning. Good morning. Happy to be here with you all today.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for joining Duke and joining us and our family of WBOK listeners. One of the things we're talking about is how the community has come together and really said essentially don't close our school, whether they have kids or grandkids or nieces or nephews going there or not. And I have been watching for the agenda, and I saw the agenda come out, and then I saw another version of the agenda come out. And on the agenda is Mrs. Karen Osier Edmonds and a donation to the TLC School Sustaining Fund in the amount of $2 million. Is that real?
Wow.
Yes, that is real. That is real. Her grandson is a student at the Leah Chase School. But just what you said in the beginning, bringing people together. That's what my mother was about, and that's what we are about, bringing people together for a purpose. We want to ensure that every child in our city has a quality education. And as Duke has probably told you, because he's been working hands-on with everyone, that this school is doing that. This school is actually educating the children, taking them where they were, bringing them to the present, keep moving them up, making progress with these students. And when you see a school doing that, why close it? That means as a community, we should come together to give them the resources they need to continue the wonderful job they're doing. And it's about bringing people together, not separating people. Education is the most important thing that our community has to work on at this time.
Well, I see another item on the agenda, and that relates to your family. And again, I'm going to ask the same question. This appeared on the agenda that the Edgar Duke Jr. and Leah Chase Family Foundation is on the agenda to discuss a $225,000 donation to the school, and with the stipulation, of course, that it stays open. Is that real?
Chuck?
Yes, that's certainly real. And all of these donations that you see, all of these programmings that will come down this line, it's from community coming together with the priority of educating our children. That's why I said earlier, over the last few weeks and months, the most inspiring thing is seeing our citizens of this city of New Orleans prioritize education as it should be. And not just education, but education for all of our students and all of our community. That is important. That's the only way we move forward.
And there's another donation on the agenda from the committee to elect Katrina C. Griffin in the amount of $150. So there have been some other smaller amounts, but with a $150 donation, the previous donations, the $225,000 donation, and a $2 million donation.
Yes.
Do you expect anything other than them to say we'll keep the school open?
I sure hope they say that because they see the good things that's happening at that school. They see the community galvanizing around education. And let me be clear, when a community comes together over education, it not only impacts the Leah Chase School, but it impacts every school in our city, because now we are truly prioritizing education of our youth. So yes, this argument tonight is about Leah Chase School, but more importantly, this argument tonight is about education of all our students in all of our communities for our entire city. And once that's successful, we are good to go.
Well,
yes, I
Stella,
agree
go
with
ahead.
Duck.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to say this, that tonight it is about coming together for education. And we need 4 votes to put it over, but we're not expecting that. We expecting 7 votes, because we believe every board member's priority is to give our city the best education it can for our students. And so we are expecting 7 votes tonight. And that will be a victory, not for our family, not for our many supporters, but for our entire community. That will be a yes to quality education if we get 7 votes.
Miss Stella, I have a question. This is Minister Darrell G. Brown. My question for you and for Duck as well, if it's not about money, if all the money that you have coming in, if it's not about money that will keep the school open, what's the other agenda? They may close it. What's the other reason?
Well, I'm going to let Duck answer that.
Yeah, I think sometimes we lose focus on what should be a priority in terms of a foundation of a community. And I'll keep leaning on this over and over. It has got to be about educating our children successfully. Now, there's many ways to do it, but we have to always come to the table with that common goal. What is the best way or any way to educate our children? And when you find all these different schools that are successful at doing it, we support them all. We're not singling out any different things. We're saying if your school is successful at educating our children, we want to support you. And this particular school is just that. It is being successful at educating our kids. And I want us to remind, because I hear so many times of the low enrollment. Yes, we want families to enroll, but know that when we opened this school, or when the school board opened this school, they opened it in a phased approach. So the numbers that we had and were able to get within 2 months of saying this school was going to open, to fill all those seats and to keep growing. So there's no low enrollment. We need families to keep enrolling and keep investing in successful education. But this is a growing school that adds a grade each and every year until we get to 8th grade.
All right. One last thing before we go. We got to go to break. If people want to help, if they have $5 to help, how can they get in touch with you or someone to provide that donation? If they want to help, they don't have money, but they have a voice, they have hands, they have legs, they want to support in some kind of way. What can these people do?
Well, they can do several things, because everybody is important. And my mother always said that. It doesn't matter whether you could give $1 or $10 or $1 million. Everyone is important. And so if you want to volunteer, or if you want to give $1, you certainly can drop a check off at the restaurant. We should have came prepared with our cords, but you can drop it off at the restaurant, or you can come and give us your name, because we are looking for community members to be involved. It's about bringing in our culture to that school. So you might have some other talent that you can use and volunteer at the school. So there are many ways for everyone to come in and help. No hands, no dollars, no nickels, no pennies are rejected. We need everyone to vote and say yes to education and to be involved in our students' education in this New Orleans city.
Okay. I heard you earlier. You said we need 4 votes to make this happen to keep the school open, but you want 7 votes to show
We
that
want
everybody.
7 votes for education. We do. We want 7 people to say yes, 7 board members to say yes, that education is a priority in our city.
Okay. Well, thank you, Duke Chase. Thank you, Stella Chase Reese. We really appreciate you making time to talk to our WBOK family of listeners on this very important day. That school board meeting is at 5:30 p.m. The agenda is online. You heard just 3 items, really important items that are on that agenda, but the future of the school is the big item on the agenda. Thank you so much. We'll be looking forward to seeing what happens at the meeting, and we'll be following up tomorrow.
Thank you.
You so much.
Thank
Have
you.
a blessed day.
Thank
Lord's
you.
blessings.
And
Go ahead.
continue to do the great job that you're doing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. All right. All right, folks. This is WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Patchy fog and warm temperatures will continue. We'll see partly to mostly cloudy skies for today. Highs in the upper 70s to lower 80s for us, and then another warm night up ahead. Looking at the lows in the 60s, and then for Friday, another warm one, upper 70s, low 80s, but chances for showers and thunderstorms in the forecast. Some of those could even be on the severe side as we head into our Saturday. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Richard.
Hi, I'm Leo Jackson, host of Sunday Gospel here every Sunday morning, 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. and 12 o'clock till 2 p.m. You don't want to miss this move of God. It happened only on WBOK. You listen to all day long.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
And staying, my friend.
Well, thank you, sir. Thanks for having me again. And it's great to be back with the WBOK family.
All right. Well, as promised earlier in the show, I promised that we would have Greg LaRose in from the Louisiana Illuminator. And I am happy to say he is here. He is here. He's in studio with us, folks. So those of you all who are on AM radio, you're about to hear the knowledge and expertise, the skill of journalism that comes with being Greg LaRose. And Greg has been with the Louisiana Illuminator for a bit now. But in terms of his WBOK connection It's been a while since you've been at WBOK, wherever it was located.
It is.
And it's been a bit since you've not been to this wonderful Xavier University location. And it's been a little while since you've done a call-in. So I am glad you're at the new location, glad you're in studio. And I just want to say thank you for your leadership of the Louisiana Illuminator. I often say on this program, of course, you know, they know, I am a columnist for the Times-Picayune, NOLA.com, but I don't want people just to read my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want people just to read the Times-Picayune or the Advocate. I want people to read, watch, and listen to different news sources, and the Louisiana Illuminator needs to be on that list. So let's catch people up about who is Greg LaRose before the Louisiana Illuminator, just a little bit about that, and then let's get to Illuminator Days and our 2025.
Sure.
recap.
So first, what an honor and privilege. Thank you so much, Will, for the invitation to be here. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been on these airwaves. So I've been in South Louisiana from the get-go, between here and Baton Rouge, home of Thibodaux, Morgan City. My start was on AM radio down in Thibodaux at KTIB.
Hey.
And where I've been as of late, the past 20 plus years, is here in New Orleans. Before the Illuminator, I was an investigative reporter with WDSU. I spent about 4 years with the Times-Picayune. Prior to that, I had a decade or more at New Orleans City Business, which was the occasion, I guess you could say, for me appearing on WBOK probably about 15 years ago. But yeah, so thrilled to see and hear where the station is now, and really, really pleased to be on board. And thank you so much for your endorsement of the work that our team does.
So tell us a little bit about what is the Louisiana Illuminator. We've had your colleagues on, Piper in particular most recently. What is the Louisiana Illuminator?
So the Louisiana Illuminator is part of a national nonprofit news organization called States Newsroom. It was launched in 2018 with the idea that capital news bureaus were sort of withering on the vine, wherein back when I started my career out at the state capitol, you had a row of offices on the ground floor that were devoted to newspapers, radio, TV stations, which all had a Capitol correspondent or Capitol bureaus that were reporting on the day-to-day events happening there. Fast forward to today, and really they're just a smattering of folks, all doing really, really fine work, but there are far fewer of us. And the Illuminator was launched in June 2020 to help fill that void. So we're a nonprofit, and everything that we publish is intended to be used by any other news outlet free of charge. We just ask, hey, give us a shout out with a byline and a link if it's online. But newspapers, websites, TV stations, radio stations can pick up that copy, and it's theirs to use at no cost. We feel as though we provide a public service, and the business model is more or less comparable to, say, NPR, with the exception that we do not accept corporate or business contributions.
Right.
We rattle the can, we fundraise, we depend on foundations too, and so far, we are essentially in growth mode. It's knock on wood, it's working.
Well, let me just say that I have a bit of a connection to your work. I don't think we've talked about this before, and that's because I worked at the News and Observer in North Carolina.
Yes.
And so with my saying just that, I think you know where I'm headed.
Yeah.
So
North Carolina was essentially sort of like the birthplace of States Newsroom.
That's correct. And I've known Chris Fitzsimmons for quite a while.
My boss.
Before he was doing journalism thing, he was doing good government, good community work, and very serious about it, and focused on accuracy and data and what does the data say and that kind of thing. And of course, I worked with Barbara Barrett at the News and Observer, my colleague and friend, who I haven't seen in a while, but hear from every now and then, who's still managing editor, I think, or what's her role?
Yeah, I want to say she moved over to State Line, which is one of our affiliates. And yeah, you know, we're now in 39 states insofar as organically grown newsrooms like the Illuminator. And in the other 11 states, we've partnered with organizations like Mississippi Today, the Texas Tribune, where they're just killing it. It would make no sense for us to try and do it any better than they can. So, yeah, we're covering all 50 states and really had a shining moment, for example, with the latest round of national elections, and we'll do so again for the midterms later this year.
Very good. All right. So let's look at 2025. The reason I reached out to you is because I read the Louisiana Illuminator, but one story in particular popped up that was like, we should do this in the early part of January. That look back that you wrote about on 2025, and I love the headline, News from Louisiana Politics in 2025, you might have forgotten.
Right. It is. And when you look back and you think, wow, was that last year or was that 2025? And yeah, you know, I think it just sort of shows the news cycle just generates and spits out so many events and, you know, just day-to-day coverage. You forget about pretty significant moments. So I thought I'd just sort of put them all in one place for people to go back and refresh their memories.
All right. So share some of that with our WBOK family of listeners.
I think what jumps out to me as an event that people just might have forgotten about was the results of the March 29th Louisiana constitutional amendment election, in which Governor Landry really pumped for support changes to the Louisiana tax structure, and along with it had proposed a criminal justice measure that would treat more 17-year-olds as adults. And there were a couple of ancillary items in there with regards to judicial elections. All four measures were resoundingly defeated with 2/3 opposition. And at the time, we reported that this could really be sort of a harbinger of perhaps what's to come for the Landry administration moving forward. With regards to criminal justice, there was a fairly comparable piece of legislation in the session that ensued in the spring, and it too failed, which I think, you know, sent a clear signal that, you know, they're even in a quote unquote tough on crime state like Louisiana, there are, I think, limitations that citizens have with regards to how juveniles should be handled in the criminal justice system. That, and along with like the bigger picture of financing the state, the amendment would have basically created this flat tax ceiling, and it also would have given the Landry administration control over a number of reserve funds and sent that money into the general fund. And I think it was sort of an admonishment on the part of voters saying that, yeah, we're not quite comfortable with where you're going there.
Okay, what was another moment or two?
I want to point to something that hasn't happened, and it's still, I think, going to be a big story for 2026, in that in November, lawmakers met and agreed to push back the election calendar for the 2026 midterm elections and congressional qualifying, provided that the U.S. Supreme Court issued a ruling in the case that's challenging the makeup of our congressional districts. And you'll recall, this time a year ago, Attorney General Liz Muriel was a staunch defender of the existing districts. They were essentially compelled to do this by a federal judge and create the second black majority district in Louisiana. Go to later in the year, and the Attorney General has changed her tune, and now that case that challenges the districts is really a test for the Supreme Court to determine whether the Voting Rights Act still holds water. The Attorney General is now of the mindset that the Voting Rights Act, specifically Section 2, which involves race as it is encompassed in election laws and the redistricting process, and saying basically it's no longer needed. The writing on the wall, if you look at recent history with regards to Supreme Court rulings, it seems as though that, in some shape or form, justices will force a rewrite or a redrawing of the districts, but they didn't do it in late December, at which time it would have allowed the legislature to convene again in special session, basically now as we're talking. And without that, it seems to point that, like with most rulings, the Supreme Court will rule in the spring. And State Senator Caleb Klein-Peter, who leads the committee basically that handles election laws, draws the maps on the Senate side, has said, we're going to go with the current maps. We're going to stick with two majority black districts. There are some rumblings. The Secretary of State's office, which, their job is to administer elections and follow the law as dictated by the legislature. They initially said that, a mid-January date was needed to provide any new maps. Obviously, that's not happening. But there are, I think, it seems discussions of, what could take place with regards to a redistricting session. But it seems as though we were kind of adhering to the calendar. I mean, the calendar that we referenced in our reporting is the one that's on the Secretary of State's website right now. So at this moment in time, it would look as though we're sticking with two black majority districts. And of course, when that ruling comes out in the spring as anticipated, I think we're looking at another redistricting session.
Yeah.
Greg, another story that we have not forgotten has been the indictment of Mayor Cantrell. And tell us about your angle with that.
Sure. And that gives me an opportunity to shout out our friends and partners with Verite News here, another nonprofit news organization in which we sort of followed their lead there. As it involves the Illuminators coverage, I think we were paying particularly close attention to how the Landry administration reacted to that. And really from the get-go, since the governor took office, there has been this effort to, you could say strong arm, you could say influence, somewhere on that spectrum, for state leaders to have a say in what goes on in New Orleans. And obviously there's a new mayor who'll be in office next week. But the indictment of Mayor Cantrell, I think, sort of allowed the Landry administration to kind of underline its point, like, okay, here's why we've always wanted to exert our influence on New Orleans governance. I wouldn't say that, obviously state police presence in New Orleans is probably the most evident part of what the Landry administration sees here. And as far as that, the Attorney General and her quote unquote partnership with the district attorney on prosecutions is another clear evident part of that. But I don't, we were talking, going back a couple years, and this was after Landry was elected, but before he took office, this real move to sort of turn the Sewage and Water Board into, technically it is a state organization, but at the time there was, special meetings, task force set up to talk more about the state having more of a day-to-day say in the operations. That hasn't materialized. But again, with the mayor's indictment, it sort of refreshed that conversation that has been in place since Landry took office about, okay, well, New Orleans needs to have more of the fingerprints of the Landry administration on it. And I think we've seen it to some degree, but not entirely.
Okay. We got a caller, Greg.
Awesome.
Somebody wants to talk to you.
Fantastic.
All right. Good morning, Don. You're on with Will Sutton, Minister Darrell G. Brown, and Greg LaRose from the Louisiana Illuminator. Good morning.
Yes, greetings to you all. And this morning. And I for the life of me, I thought that with my learning disability, dyslexia, I thought it was Illuminati, not Illuminator.
Some days we have a very high
And
opinion of
what was
ourselves,
next?
but not
Skull
that
and
high.
Bones and the rest of the secret societies? You're going to spill it? But nevertheless, I read. I checked out a couple of articles on the Illuminator in the past, and I look at Hetchinger report on education, and of course Reuters and ProPublica and things of that nature. I look at these news media who have an extensive BBC, stuff like that. But my question is, when we have in this country the reading ability at sixth grade level or lower, when you write, what is the writing level of the Illuminator? Because it says that if you write at the ninth grade level, you're going to miss 88% of the readability of the public. And if you write above the ninth grade level, you're going to miss 98% of the readability of the public. So if you write in at the 12th grade level, you're only catering to 2% of the readability of the general public. Mm-hmm. So what is your paper's target audience, and how do they disseminate information to those who may not have the prose of the dictionary? You understand my question and where I'm trying to go?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Don.
What public good is the Louisiana Illuminator, as well as other media outlets?
All right, Don. Thanks for your call. You have a blessed day. We're going to see what Greg has to say.
It's a really good question in that it speaks to our business model. Now, I have never poured the contents into the Illuminator into some sort of device that would spit out just exactly what grade level that we're writing to. We try to avoid sort of the inside baseball, jargony, wonky language in our stories. But this goes to, the idea that we exist to be republished. And that's in a variety of publications, a variety of news outlets. And we take it a step further. And I really pride myself in sort of leading the charge among a lot of states' newsroom outlets in forging partnerships. We work closely, for example, with Fox 8. We mentioned Verite a little bit earlier. We tag team frequently with our public radio friends, with news outlets around the state. So we go into our reporting knowing that it's reaching a broad audience. We are not really, we know that lobbyists per se, elected officials, academics and such are among our most loyal readers, but our goal is to tell stories that explain the impacts of policy and politicians on everyday people. So we hope that's how it's being digested.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Greg, for joining us today, and not just joining us, but joining us in person.
Good to be here.
In studio.
Scratching the radio edge.
On the campus of Xavier University, and this is the South Xavier University campus. It's great to have you here. I enjoy being with you when we have the opportunity to be matched up on Informed Sources on WYES.
Right.
Happens every now and then.
Yes.
But I hope I can put you on the spot and have you make a promise.
Let's hear it.
You'll be back to WBOK.
Count on
and we'll hear more from the Illuminator in 2026.
Count on it. Thank you so much for the invitation. Great to be here.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Greg.
Folks, we got to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about who the heck has a city car in the city of New Orleans. Who has a city car? You got a name for me? I might be able to tell you. Who has a city car? Make sure they're a current city employee. Now, we don't know who might be a city employee after today or this week or after Monday, but as of today, if you know the name of a city employee, give a ring. 504-582-9422. 504-582-9422. This is WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat, brought to you by FidelityWealthManagement.com. The Magnificent Seven, led by NVIDIA, have been dominating conversations on Wall Street for a while now. But black-owned and led Ariel Investments is finding value flying under the radar with smaller companies. Here's Ariel Investments founder, chairman, and CEO, John Rogers.
We're still finding ideas in the small value space. You know, they really have been ignored. They're kind of the ugly ducklings when you compare it to NVIDIA and Apple and all these giant, exciting growth stories. You know, the little mundane businesses that we've invested in for 42 years just seem particularly orphaned these days. So we're seeing great ideas and excited to be doing the research. I think there's real opportunity for small value.
Ariel Investments, John Rogers speaking to Bloomberg there. The firm's flagship Ariel Fund focuses entirely on small and mid-cap stocks. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. For those of you all who have been with us, I am Will Sutton, and with me is Minister Darrell G. Brown.
Good morning to your WBOK family. It's good to be back with you again.
All right, very good, very good. That was a good conversation with Greg LaRose from the Louisiana Illuminator. He's got a staff. A small but mighty staff doing some incredible work. I strongly suggest that you put that in as a part of your news diet on a regular basis because they do good work. And it's something that I read and occasionally share, and we'll be doing more of that. Hey, look, one of the things that happened last month was that there was a comment from Mayor-elect Helena Moreno about the mayor having too many cars. And I think the number was 4.
4, that's right.
And the mayor, who hasn't been saying a lot, was offended by that and shot back that it's not 4, it's 3. And that the mayor-elect doesn't know what she doesn't know. They're like, all right, ladies, all righty now. So we're going to do a little cat thing with the cars. But seriously, it is an expense. If any of you have a car or have access to a car, a truck, a SUV, a Bug, or 2 or 3, you don't just get to drive that thing. Somebody's got to pay for the gas. You either do the oil change or you pay for the oil change. Somebody's got to keep the tires inflated, and some of us don't do as good job with that. And then maybe you got to take it to shop and get new tires. All of a sudden, you're spending way more on the tires. You got an engine that is a machine that's got to be taken care of. Otherwise, it fails you. There's maintenance that goes along with the cost after you acquire it, unless you acquire it from a family member for $1. More times than not, you have bought it with cash that is thousands of dollars, or you have had a loan, usually no shorter than 3, 4, 5 years. And I hear these days there's some people trying to get 7, 8, and 10-year loans on a vehicle. Well, the city of New Orleans has 935 employees out of the 5,000 employees who have take-home cars as of December 2025. And this has become an issue because the mayor-elect says not only does the mayor not need multiple cars, but there are too many people in the city of New Orleans on the city staff that have drive-home cars. So about 935 municipal employees, and that's 20% of the city's workforce, were driving cars as of December 1, 2025. And the total gathered on that is about $41 million. The state legislative auditor, Mike Weigerspack, has been looking at this, and the Times-Picayune NOLA.com reporter Sophie Kasakov has been looking at this as well. Well, as of just a few hours ago, you can give me a name, you can make a name, and you can say somebody's first and last name. If they're a city employee, give me a ring, and we can look it up. So let's just look for Kirkpatrick. So, and see what Ann Kirkpatrick has assigned to her. The New Orleans police chief, a 2023 Explorer at the purchase price of $46,926. So that is for her. And there are others who has, Detective Danny Ellis, a 2023 Durango, $54,610. So you can do this yourself, thanks to Sophie. And you can't get this in the newspaper. That's online. So these are a database for take-home vehicles. So we'll get back to this tomorrow. You got some names, let me know. I don't have to be on air. You can let me know. Reach out to me. Who do you want to have looked up? So we can look into this a bit more as we head from one administration into the other. Good show, Brother Dow.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me this morning.
Thank you, Will.
We got to get out of here and make room for the front porch. It's been a blast to be with you all, our WBOK family of listeners on AM radio, on the internet, on YouTube, and yes, those who listen and watch on Facebook Live. We thank you for joining us, giving us a couple of hours of your very